Welcome to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. I'm Kyra, Howearth, your host. Here on the show, we talk all about manifesting your dreams with the power of the moon so you can use the cosmic energy to transform your life. Hello and welcome back to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. It's Kyra Howearth, and today it's eclipse season. We have some deep work to do. So I'm going to be chatting all about how to harness this transformative energy of eclipse season in your business. Because maybe you're feeling like you've outgrown your current business model or offerings, or maybe you just know that something needs to change. And before you burn it all down to the ground and start all over again, I've got some things for you to consider. Because maybe you started your business a while ago and maybe things are evolving and shifting and you're not feeling aligned with what you had previously started. Or maybe you're just wanting to expand and add new offerings and things into your business. So eclipse season can really bring up a lot of this sort of energy where we're wanting to change, we're wanting to evolve, we're wanting to transform, and it can be quite intense. But today I'm really going to be helping you to harness this energy without burning everything down necessarily. We're going to go over a few different options that you can use in your own business if you're feeling this heightened sense of needing to evolve and transform your business. There's so many options. I'm going to go through a few of these today. But first up, let me share a bit about my own story. So some of you may know a bit of my background, but if not, well, here's my story. So quite a few years ago now, I think it was like 2018, even before then, I had gone to college. I had studied Western herbal medicine, studied for quite some time, for a few years, devoted a lot of time and energy into this degree, and started practicing as a herbalist, as a clinical herbalist, and it was so fun. And I felt like this is what I want to do. I get to work with women and help them find natural remedies to support them with their women's health. I really focused on women's fertility. At that time, I had 4 children. Well, I still do have 4 children, but I was right in the throes of motherhood and going on my own journey of natural parenting and all the other natural things like natural fertility, natural pregnancy, all of the things, natural birth. So it was really fulfilling work for me because I was able to share my passion for all of that with other women, and I was helping women so much, helping women fall pregnant naturally, helping women who maybe had been on the pill or other contraceptives for many years and helping them to find a bit more balance with their body, regaining their cycle, all that sort of thing. And then at the other end of the spectrum, I was also helping women who were entering menopause or going through menopause with all the wild symptoms that can come up with that stage of life as well. So I was getting to help so many different women in different stages of this wonderful journey of being a woman that we have. But after a while, I began to feel this stirring inside of me. And I realized that I wanted something that was a bit more spiritual, something that was a bit less scientific. And I actually held my very first moon circle, and it was very transformative for me, even as a facilitator. But basically, what happened was I knew that I wanted to start doing this more spiritual work, like holding moon circles and stuff. But it actually took me a few months to bring up that courage to do so. I thought, oh my gosh, no one's going to want to come along to this. No one else is spiritual. I live in not really a small town. There's 50,000 people here. But I was like, there's no one spiritual here. No one's going to want to come along to my little moon circle. But anyway, that first circle was booked out. I had about 25 people crammed into this reception area room of where I was practicing as a herbalist, and that night just really changed things. But the other really cool thing, tying this back to my story today about eclipse season and evolving your business, was that very first circle was actually held on the lunar eclipse in Leo, which, as you know, we're talking about eclipses, we're talking about evolving your business. And there I was, that was literally me evolving my business from this very clinical, medical, scientific, herbalist business model. And then I was like, nope, I am going to transform. I'm going to evolve. I'm going to bring this more spiritual dimension into my business. And I just knew, like, once I did that first circle, I just knew, like, this is the path I'm meant to be taking. I'm meant to be doing this more spiritual work. So from then on, I started bringing more spiritual elements into my herbalist consultations for the right clients. Like, some of my clients were just not really open to the spiritual side of things at all. But there were some really amazing clients that I had that I even still are, I'm in contact with them still now. Who were open to all that spiritual stuff. Like, I would bring in my tarot cards into consultations. I would do like a moon cycle tracking, like when we're talking about like menstrual cycle stuff or like other symptoms that were coming up, like we would track it with the moon cycle and like things like that. People just love, like, those right sort of clients, that they just loved this more spiritual sort of edge that I was bringing in to my consultations, even if like at first it wasn't really, you know, what they came to see me about. But it was really cool. Funny story, I actually once had like a mother and her daughter in the consult. And the daughter was like a older sort of teen, like she was like, yeah, basically an adult. But anyway, found out that all three of us, I can't remember if it was on the full moon or that like we had actually like we were menstruating either at that time or it was like on that last full moon, like we had all menstruated, and it was just like crazy, just like how synced we were. And it was like just things like that that made me realize that, yeah, like this spiritual side of things and like, you know, talking about the moon and menstruation, all that sort of thing. It was like, oh wow, like this is actually like really cool to be able to talk about this out loud. And anyway, just really fulfilling for me to, branch more into that spiritual side of things and feel safe and supported in that area. So after a few months of like bringing that spiritual side into my consultations, I began to realize that, you know, it just wasn't quite enough. It wasn't fulfilling me as deeply as I thought it would. Like, I loved being a herbalist, but I feel like there was a very medical side of things, particularly like as I was working like with fertility and that sort of thing. Like, I would have clients who had come to me and they had like PCOS and endometriosis and they'd been going through IVF and like all the different things. And it was just like, whoa, like, and then they come to me as the last resort and they're like taking all these medications and like, you know, just all these different things. And it just was so far removed from that like vision that I had of like, you know, helping women have home births and have natural pregnancies and all that sort of thing. I felt this real disconnect from where I wanted to go with my business and the sort of like support I wanted to offer compared to like the actual clients that were showing up on the doorstep coming in for those consultations. So I made the decision to actually close down my herbalist business because I was like, no, I'm actually not really feeling this anymore. I really want to do more of the spiritual side of things. Like, I want to run more of the moon circles. I want to do, all the spiritual things. So I closed down my business, burnt it all down to the ground, basically, not literally, just figuratively. And I started again. And like, that is an option. I'm going to give you a few different options shortly. If this is like, you know, what's kind of coming up for you too, if you're feeling like that need to shift and evolve. Closing down your business and starting all over again is just one option. But if I could go back in time and talk to myself like 5-6 years ago and be like, hey, Kyra, here's your options. If I could mentor myself back then, here is what I would say to myself back then about harnessing this eclipse energy to transform and evolve my business more so in the direction of that higher calling that I was feeling. So your first option is to pivot your business, okay? So pivoting your existing business means that you're not losing all the hard work, because perhaps like me back then when I was practicing as a herbalist, you'd put like so much time and effort and money into building your business. Like, oh my gosh, cannot tell you like how much I had invested into my business at that point. And I was actually gearing up for a rebrand as like my new business name was The Fertility Herbalist. I had literally spent like thousands of dollars literally on this rebrand, and I never actually launched this rebrand because it all happened during my spiritual awakening, I guess. And I was like, nope, I'm just going to start all over again. So I had actually put so much stuff into this business model, and then it just all went down the drain. Like, I never used it. So the thing is that I could have actually pivoted my business back then. I could have like just, kept going with that fertility, with that women's health, but I could have just, just shone my light is probably the best word there to use, shone, out into the world, like with that spiritual energy that I wanted to bring into my business. So pivoting your business can just mean like adding in new offerings, or maybe even just aspects of offerings into your business. I've had quite a few beautiful women in business talk to me lately who have been like learning new skills, and they're wanting to kind of shift away from the existing skills that they're doing. So for example, like they're doing massage, but they want to do more of the Reiki. And like, even though people are coming to them for the massage, like they want that like hands-on sort of stuff, and they're maybe not like, asking for that more spiritual Reiki energy healing side of things, but that's what they want to do. They want to do that more spiritual work. And so it's like, well, why can't you just combine them? Why can't you say, okay, you're here for a massage, but is it okay if I do a bit of Reiki while I'm doing your massage? Like, you can do that. You can combine the different things, and you can have that on your website or booking form or whatever. Or you can as the clients come in, and maybe you feel called to do certain things with different clients. Like maybe this one is more open to, like, let's pull an oracle card before we dive into your massage or whatever. You can weave that sort of stuff in. Like, be confident and trust your intuition, because you'll know, particularly if you have existing clients, you'll know which clients are going to be more open to that spiritual stuff. And I mean, if you don't know, you can always ask and get a vibe. And if, they're not really into it, then that's okay. You can just go with the traditional sort of offerings that you have. Because the thing is, with your existing business, if you're just pivoting, like, you will have existing clients who love you and they love what you do, regardless of what that is. And they will follow you on your journey. I have run so many businesses over the years, and, I still have people who I know from business back in 2010 who are still in my universe. And I have done so many different things in between all that time. But they still follow me. They still love what I do. They still interact with my stuff, which is really, really sweet. And you will find that you also have those same sort of clients who they just love you and your work because of your vibes. So just trust that if you do feel called to pivot, if you feel like you need to add in new offerings or just change things up, like blend modalities together or whatever it is, just trust that your existing customers and clients will love that because they love you and your vibes. And if they don't love it, that's okay. It's okay to let them go, because you will get more clients and they will be more aligned, because they are going to love those vibes that you're putting out there as you're pivoting your business, and they'll be like, oh, I really love this person, I want to work with them. So just trust that it's okay to let go of clients and that side of thing that, isn't aligned with where you want to go. It is okay to leave the past behind. Okay, so pivoting your existing business is one option. Another option that you can do is rebrand your existing business, which is kind of similar to pivoting your business, except I feel like a rebrand, you can pivot your business without having to rebrand. A rebrand can just really give you a real fresh vibe to your business. So a few years back, so I guess fast forwarding a bit in my story, as I told you, I started doing moon circles and that sort of thing, and I started my business Herbal Moon Goddess. And I think after maybe even 3 years, I realized that I didn't really resonate with that brand name anymore, Herbal Moon Goddess. I felt like it was just kind of something that was in my past, and that I really wanted to make a shift moving forward. And so again, I rebranded. I didn't like burn it all down to the ground. Not this time. I just simply did a rebrand. So I changed my business name. I changed to a personal brand. So now I'm just known as me, Kyra Howearth. And I kept my like existing website and domain name and everything, but I just kind of like redirected it and like slowly kind of transitioned. But I did like a full rebrand, like changed my colors, my fonts, all those different things, my logo. And that just really updated my vibes of my business to the new direction I was going. And I think that was a really good move in so many different ways, because it allowed me to start expressing myself a bit more authentically instead of feeling like I was hiding behind a brand or a business name. And again, like your existing clients, like they will either love your rebrand and they will keep following you on that journey. And if they don't love it, well, you know what? That's their loss. Like, don't worry about them if they just aren't meant for that next journey of your business. So going back to like talking about like, that advice that I would give to my younger self, like if, I wanted to harness this transformative energy of evolving my business with eclipse season, something that I would have done a few years back when I rebranded was that I actually would have looked into astrological branding. And I had no idea about this at the time. Funnily enough, it actually wasn't that long ago, but did not really think about it back then. Maybe I did, and maybe I was just like, meh. Anyway, astrological branding. Oh my gosh, this is such like a cheat sheet to aligning the vibes of your business with the vibes of the clients you want to call in, and like the energy of like your business and like your business as a separate entity. Like it's gold. It really is. So if I was to go back and do my rebrand all over again, I would 100% from the get-go, I would bring up my business astrology chart for my rebrand, and I would be like, okay, these are the colors and everything that I need to have for my business. These are the ideal clients that I'm working with. This is like how I'm like rebranding my business and repositioning myself within the business. And like, I feel like if I had done that back in 2022 when I did my rebrand, it would have changed things a lot and brought me back into alignment with the work I'm meant to be doing a lot faster. But anyways, I guess we're all on our own journey. I just did not do that back then. So if you are considering a rebrand, if you are feeling called to do that with this eclipse season, I would highly, highly recommend looking into some astrological branding. And I do this as well as, and I also do cover this inside the Soul Aligned Business Mastermind. And I'll tell you a bit more about that towards the end of the podcast episode as well. Do reach out if you do want to know more about astrological branding. I do this over on my other business website, Witchery, where I design websites as well as astrological brand kits for spiritual women in business. So that is a lot of fun. And like I said, so transformative. It's just like a guide to the energetics of your business, so that you just simply know, like, okay, these are the aligned colors and fonts and styles that I need to be using so that I can attract those right sort of people into my business. Okay, so that's your second option, rebranding. So we've talked about pivoting, we've talked about rebranding. Your third option, if you're feeling like this eclipse, chaotic, transformative energy and you're really wanting to change up your business, your third option is to, burn it all down and start again. And the cool thing here is that you can strategically start again. Okay. Sometimes we have, businesses that we run in the past, and we can kind of think of them like a practice business. Okay. Because then sometimes you're like, okay, blah, 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 did my thing with the business, wasn't really a success. I'm going to start again with this other new business model. And you usually, like, once you start that new business and you are a bit more clear about what you're doing with that business, you have a bit more of a strategy, all that sort of thing, you can usually use that to your advantage to just like blow your business up, like going into it, like, the second or the third time or something like that. So if you have tried running businesses before, or like, maybe you're still in your first business and you're like, oh, I want to change things, like, you can strategically start again. And this is what I have done many, many times. And every time I do it, it's like, oh, this is great because I know what I'm doing and I can do it even better. So anyway, strategically starting again. If this is what you want to do, if you do want to start again, you need to get really, really clear from the get-go of like your business plan. Okay, you need to get really clear on who you are, what your role is, what it is that you're doing. Like, what is the work that you're doing in the world? What is it is that you're offering? Get really super clear on that. Okay, once you know that, you really need to dial down into who your ideal clients are. Who are the people that you want to work with in your business? Okay, this is super important. If you don't know who you want to work with, then all your messaging is going to be off. Because when you're talking to everyone, nobody is listening. So having that really clear ideal client avatar, knowing exactly who you're talking to is really going to make a massive difference to like getting just a few little clients to like, you know, clients constantly DMing you and, you know, buying from you, all those different things. Okay. The other thing you need to be clear on is like what you're offering. So like what are the services or the products that you're offering, as well as like how that fits into your funnels and your strategies. So being, like I said, very strategic if you're starting your business all over again, as well as being really clear on the transformation that your offerings create. And so many times lately, I keep seeing women who have these beautiful offerings in the world and like people aren't buying them. And it's not because like they're not amazing. They are super amazing and these ladies are so talented, but they're just not selling the transformation. Okay, people don't necessarily want to buy another massage or an astrology reading or a Reiki healing or whatever it is. They want to buy that transformation. Okay, so getting really clear on what it is that you're offering, it transforms for your clients. Like maybe it helps them fill their own cup so that they're feeling less stressed. Or maybe, you know, it helps to ease their bodily pains and aches, or I don't know, whatever it is that you're offering solves. Like that transformation is what you really need to sell and focus on. So yeah, getting really clear, getting really strategic with your business plan can really enable you to start afresh. And I mean, you can do this even if you're just rebranding or like, you know, just pivoting your existing business. You can still absolutely go into it with everything I've just said here about strategically starting again. But like strategically starting again, like this is one of the things I do talk about a lot because sometimes, well, a lot of the times I get asked, Kyra, how did you grow your Instagram to over 40,000 followers? And like people just think like I'm just famous or something. Like yes, I'm a little bit famous, but the thing is, I was really strategic. I went into starting this Instagram account with a really clear strategy in place, and that was back in like 2019. I started that account, and like I grew to 40,000 followers within 6 months, and then I kind of just stayed there, and that's a whole other story. Let's talk about social media on another episode. But like I was really strategic, and it was not my first Instagram account either. Like I didn't just like wake up one day and become Insta famous. I had been hanging around on Instagram since, I don't know, I think like 2012 or something. I had quite a lot of experience with Instagram, and I had another account that I grew to like 10,000 followers before I grew my other account. Just like you can go into things with a strategy, and that is really going to help you grow like exponentially. Okay, so if you're feeling the call to evolve your business this eclipse season, like these are the guidelines that I'd love for you to follow. Like either pivoting, rebranding, or like strategically starting again. Because like the thing is with eclipse season, you're feeling this call to evolve. You're feeling this call to change, to transform. And if you keep that bottled up inside, it's really going to like squash that higher calling. It's going to squash that calling that you have to grow, to, you know, develop your business and whatever it is. And I don't want you to hold that back. I don't want you to repress that feeling. I want you to be able to grow and evolve. It is safe for you to evolve your business. It is safe for you to grow to that next level. So if you are feeling this call to grow, to evolve, to pivot, to rebrand, to strategically start again, I am here to help you. The next round of the Soul Aligned Business Mastermind is starting really soon, and we do cover all of these things. Like I mentioned earlier, we cover the astrological branding. That's actually one of our first modules that we go through. We talk about like your ideal client avatar, about like discovering who it is that you're meant to be working with, those soul aligned clients. We go into like who you are and the work that you're meant to be doing. We go into like through all of the things I've mentioned, like your offerings, what they are, your strategies, your funnels, the transformations that your offerings create for your clients, all of those different things. So if you're interested in joining us for this next round of the Soul Aligned Business Mastermind, you can find the link in the show notes below or go to kyrahowearth.com/SABM. The really cool thing about this next round of the Soul Aligned Business Mastermind, and this is about the 5th time I've run this mastermind, is that this particular round starts on an eclipse and it ends on an eclipse. And I don't think it's actually ever lined up this particular way with the eclipses the way that it has for this mastermind round. So this is super aligned if you are feeling that call to grow, to evolve your business in alignment with that eclipse energy, because we're going to be really working strongly with those eclipses in this level, this round of the mastermind. So if you're ready to evolve to the next level in your business, don't hold back. I want you to follow that calling and to evolve and grow your business and allow yourself to rise like a phoenix from the ashes in the wake of your business transformation. Stay magical, stay manifesting, and I will chat with you on the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Moon Manifesting podcast. If you are curious about working with the moon, you can read my book, Moon Manifesting, or join us inside the Moon Manifesting Coven. You'll find the links in the show notes or go to kyrahowearth.com.